What's up guys, welcome to this product research video. So in this one, I'm going to show you how to find products that have really good potential. The method I'm going to be showing you today is actually the method I use to find the products, the one single product that produced these results here. And I want to show you this first week of December then, because the end of that first week is kind of like the cutoff point before things start getting a bit iffy in terms of guaranteeing delivery before Christmas. In case you didn't know, I also import products in bulk. So between kind of the end of that first week and up to, I believe the cutoff point is the 23rd this year, is when I tend to focus on those products so I can capitalize on Q4 as much as possible. So at the moment, the store is inactive, but this is what the first week of December looked like. So the average day was about £1,600, give or take, and then I believe it was the 6th in which I did a little bit over 2k. Now, I was pretty happy with these results, to be honest, because they were fairly consistent. I could have scaled it perhaps a bit higher, but due to it coming up to that cutoff point before orders start arriving into January time, I didn't want to take the risk. To be honest, if I had to put a number on it, I'd probably say about 10-15% of these orders won't get there before Christmas and run the risk of having to be refunded anyway. So let's get into the topic of today's video and actually show you how I went about finding this product. It's the method I've been using quite a lot recently, purely because it's so effective and so fast, which you'll see in a second. Now, before we jump into the actual method itself, just a couple of background points. Number one, ideally go for products that are currently selling. It's the fastest way to have success and make those initial sales. If a product is selling well today, then you can make sales today. Point two, cost to use less than £15 delivered. Anything more than that, then you run the risk of it getting delayed in customs and having to pay duty and taxes, etc. So try and keep that cost to you delivered. Now that does include delivery costs, so it includes the cost of e-packet with a sale price then of plus £15 minimum. So what that means is if you buy a product for £10 delivered, make sure it has a perceived value and you can sell it for at least £25. So it's £10 plus £15 minimum, purely because me anyway, my average kind of CPA on Facebook now is anywhere from £10 to £15. So as long as you have that room, then you can make a little bit of profit, plus any upsells or cross sales, plus any back end stuff you have in place. You can make a pretty decent profit overall. So the actual method to the madness then is the exchange marketplace. This is a brilliant resource. If you've never heard of it before, then I thoroughly recommend you get to grips with it. A couple of things to keep in point then. No private listings and 500k plus sales in terms of the actual store itself. So just to give you a quick background, it's where people come to sell their Shopify stores. So what you want to do is just head over across, browse all stores. We want to go for dropshipping. Obviously, the same business model as us, the better, because then we can replicate it. Revenue high to low, and then just make sure you click the graph so you can actually see the revenue numbers. The two things we want to keep in mind then when we're scrolling through all these different listings is, number one is to make sure they're not private listings, as this one is here, because when they're private, they don't give out their store URL, so we can't go to their store and we can't see their products. And number two then is the total revenue. If we go for stores that have at least 500k in revenue, then we know that we're going to be dealing with stores and with products that have really good potential. So just keep scrolling through then, find a couple that match the criteria, open them up into separate tabs, which I've already done. And here's three quick examples I want to show you then. So number one is Heroic Defender. Just to give you a background, so total revenue is over 500k. The numbers are verified by Shopify themselves as well, as you can see here. So the numbers aren't fake. You don't have to worry about coming across a store with fake numbers. Store number two is a pretty interesting store. It's a one product store, easy bun maker, and their total revenue was over 500k. So that's one single product that's capable of doing over £500,000 dollars, which is pretty good. And then store number three is Outdoor Lives. It's basically an outdoor camping shop. There's lots of different products, which we'll be looking at in a second. And again, as you can see, these guys did over 500k in revenue as well. So once you've found some stores then, the next thing you want to do is check the marketing strategies and the order fulfillment of those stores, purely because there's no point taking products from a store that are buying them in bulk and shipping them out themselves. You want to make sure they are drop shipping. Plus you want to make sure that they're marketing it in the correct way too, because depending on whether you choose a product to advertise on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat, the criteria is different. So you want to make sure that these guys are going to be running the same kind of marketing campaigns you are, i.e. Facebook ads. So this first store then, we can see that they're using print on demand and drop shipping, and they're also using Facebook advertising too, which is good, because if these guys can sell a product well using Facebook ads and drop shipping it, then there's no reason why we can't. This particular store, if we have a look, our main focus was on paid traffic via Facebook ads. Again, another really good sign. And then this third one, directly driven from Facebook and Google AdWords, mostly Facebook, very little maintenance required once working. So again, three really good stores that match all the criteria so far. Next thing we want to do then is simply use a free Chrome extension. I use Shopify Inspector. So what we shall do is we'll open up the stores And we're going to use a Chrome extension and basically just to take us straight to their best selling products so we know exactly what to focus on. Now, to avoid things getting confusing, I'm just going to go through the process with one particular store now. It probably won't be this one, but just to show you it, because there are a lot of people that watch this that ask me about one product stores. So best selling products, we can see that it's the easy bun maker. If we click the link, it should take us to the product page. And this is the one and only product these guys sell, and they did over 500k in revenue. So if this is a product you're interested in, then by all means dig deeper into this one, and have a look at the Facebook ads they'll be running as well, and I'll show you how to do that later on in the video. The one I'm going to focus on is this store here, just because I think it'll get a bit confusing if I'm chopping and changing between 3 different stores. So this is Outdoors Life, a very basic looking store. I mean, straight away you can tell it's a dropshipping store, and yet the results speak for themselves. They did over 500k in revenue. So I'm just going to open up Shopify Inspect and have a look at what their best selling products is, which was this 5-pack of permanent matches. So I'm just going to open up the product page and just take a look at the overall design and layout. So if this is a product, if you've got an outdoor store, you want to test this product, then you've got pretty much all the information in front of you here. What product images to use, what information to use. Now, obviously, please don't copy it word by word, but use it for inspiration and implement it into your own store in your own way. Just make sure you do it in your own way. Next steps are then, if we go back to the checklist, is to use the Chrome extension to find bestsellers, which we've just done. And then the next point you can do as well is if you are struggling for Facebook ad inspiration, you can actually head over to the Facebook ad library, and if the particular store that you're looking at is running ads, then you can use the Facebook ad library for inspiration too, and even copy their ads. Again, look at the type of videos they use and the images they're posting, the actual wording of their ads, and replicate something similar in your own campaign. So this is one of the stores we looked at earlier called Heroic Defender. And this is the one and only ad, so I went to all impressions, all platforms, and this I believe is the only active one they had. So because the stores that we found are for sale, then they might be inactive, they might not currently be running any Facebook ads, so you might come to a dead end is what I'm trying to say, but it's always worth checking. Nonetheless, if you do find an ad, then you can always take inspiration from it, and if you do find it and come across one that's quite lucky, then essentially you've got absolutely everything in front of you that you can then go and replicate into your own business. So you've got the product, you've got the selling price, you've got the product page design and layout, and then if you're lucky enough to come across the Facebook ad too, then you've got that as well. Next step in the checklist then is to find the product on AliExpress and check the daily order volume. This is a way of finding evidence of how in demand this particular product is. So if we just head across to AliExpress, as you can see, I've already done the research on this one. Just stick permanent match into there. Make sure you filter by orders, so we are going to be using the URL of the most popular product. I'm going to open it up into a new tab, and then I'm going to head across to my account so I can open up the Dropshipping Center. And what you want to do then is just take the URL of the best selling product, head into your Dropshipping Center. We want to go to product analysis and paste the URL in there, click search, and then what we're looking at is how many units are being sold per day, and ideally you want that to be over 1% of the overall orders. So if we have a look at the product page, we can see these guys have sold 1,500 in total. 1% of 1,500 is, I believe, about 15 per day, and these guys are averaging 30, 26, 12. They're dipping down a bit low. On average though, it's above 15 per day, which in my opinion is a good sign. So as long as you've got that over 1%, it shows that the product is in good demand. Another way you can check this as well, which is also the next step, is to search on Facebook for customer feedback. So if we just open up any old tab in Facebook, let's go to permanent match. We're going to search for videos, because then we can see how many views the videos have, and we want to find one then that has a decent amount of views, because then it has a better chance of having more comments that we can use for an idea of whether people are actually buying this product or not. So 346,000 views if we just open this up. Again, so a good way of finding content to use for your ads. We're going to open up the comments, and once you've opened up quite a few of the comments, as you can see here, all you need to do then is quickly read through a few of them and just see if you can find anyone actually saying they've bought this, because if you can, it's a good sign that people actually want a product and it's in demand. So just bought 2 of them, which is really good. We can see here, just bought one for my father. He loves the wooden survival stuff, so that's a great sign. What you want to do is, if you have found a particular video that looks good, getting good engagement, is just click the 3 dots and make sure you save the video. And then over time, what will happen is, if I just go back to home, saved, then you'll build up like a library of different Facebook ads that you can just keep coming back to for inspiration. So for example, then I have this dog bed that I've been meaning to test recently because it's got millions of views. As you can see, it's got nearly 10,000 comments. And if we open up the comments just to illustrate how much people are enjoying this, you can see tons and tons of people are buying this product and posting pictures of their dogs. So somebody's actually bought this, took a picture, and it's got 240 engagements. That just illustrates how many people are loving this product. So it's getting a ton of engagement, a ton of views, which is a great sign of a healthy product that's in demand. If we go back to the checklist, there is another way in which you can find evidence of whether a product is actually in demand, and that's simply using Google Trends. Within a few seconds, you can find out who's buying it, if at all anyone, and what country they're in. So if I just open up Google Trends, I've got a tab open already. We can see dog bed is currently on the upward trend, which is a good sign because it shows that more and more people are searching for this term. What I really like as well is if we expand this into worldwide, and we can just scroll down a bit, it will actually tell us the most popular countries that are searching a term like this, so we know exactly what countries to target on Facebook as well. With that being said, then back to the checklist, and I think that just about covers everything it does. So just a very fast recap then. Ideally go for products that are currently selling today. It's the fastest way to see the initial sales, to build that initial motivation. Find products that cost you less than $15 or £15 delivered, so that includes the actual delivery cost, and make sure you can sell that for at least an extra £15 or $15 on top of what your purchase price is. Use the exchange marketplace then to find public listings that have at least 500 plus sales. That way we can make sure that we're focusing on products that have really big potential. Check the marketing strategies, make sure these guys are using dropshipping and they are selling the products via Facebook ads, so we can replicate the exact same business model. Use the simple Chrome extension. It's called Shopify Inspector. It's 100% free and it will take you straight to their best sellers. Once you find their best sellers, then you just have to find evidence to make sure the product is currently in demand, so you know that it will actually sell if you decide to invest in it and actually test it. There's a number of ways you can do this. You can use the Facebook ad library to see what ads they're currently running for it. You can find it on AliExpress and check the daily order volume. You can also search for the product on Facebook. That way you'll also find customer feedback of that particular product to see if anybody is actually commenting and saying they're buying it. And then finally you can actually use Google Trends too to see if people are searching for it on Google. And then the final point I want to finish on this video is the fact that don't get too greedy. Focus on one country and one product at a time. One of the biggest mistakes I see beginners make is they try and test 5 different products in 10 different countries at a time. They try and bite off way more than they can chew with little budgets too. So just focus on getting one product to work in one country at a time. And once you do, then start to scale and expand it into other countries. Start small and build things big. You can't, if you try and go too big too quickly, you're just going to set yourself up to fail. And with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button. Any questions at all, I do read every single comment, so leave your questions down below. For weekly videos, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.